Okay, so my first goal would be to gain the opportunity to join this nurse residency program. I see myself constantly learning, expanding my skill set, asking questions, and really getting to know the ins and outs of the unit. After the nurse residency program and during the nurse residency program, I see myself excelling as both a nurse and as a part of the family. I see myself really becoming a seasoned nurse. And once I become confident and solidified in my skills, I would love to become a preceptor. I would love to be that resource to give back to future new graduates and new students because that is something that really helped me grow as a new nurse. And I would also love to become a charge nurse one day to act as a resource to all the other nurses on the unit. Um, and something else I'm really passionate about is quality improvement. And I know that's something that is a part of the mission is to constantly strive for excellence. And by focusing on that, I would love to focus on quality improvement projects on the unit so that we could constantly maximize patient care outcomes and the unit excellence. And something else I would love to do is to continue my education through certifications. I would love to get ultrasound IV certified because that's something that I saw a lot in my emergency department experience. And I would also love to gain certifications to become an advanced trauma care registered nurse one day.
Anyone who doesn't hire you has problems. Um,
The way I just talk is like I just need to like bring
No,
it
you're
together.
good. It's like what I like about it is you're hitting all the points that you know you need to hit, but it doesn't sound like you've said it 100 times already.
I
You know what
haven't.
I mean? Like you're saying it in your own way, kind of, where it feels like you're just hanging out talking to me. Um,
Mhm.
if you find these videos helpful and you want to grab your own list of nursing interview questions, over the years I've collected every question that any new grad has told me they've been asked in their new grad nursing interview, and I've compiled it into a 22-page, 72 question PDF that you can download. It's $5, but with your discount code, you can get it for $3. So your discount code will be just YouTube. So I'll put the link in the description below. Go ahead and check that out if that's something that you think would be helpful. The idea is hopefully you'll encounter any questions that they're likely to ask you to help minimize any surprises during your actual interview.
Where I see myself in 1 year, I see myself in this organization and just undertaking more leadership roles. I would love to one day be a preceptor to new graduate nurses like me, and also possibly becoming a charge nurse. And then my long-term goal, so where I see myself in 5 years, is I really want to get my CCRN certification and just be a mentor to nurses who, and just try to help shape the trajectory of future nurses.
Cool. Do you guys do any like certifications for continuous dialysis or like ECMO or anything like that?
I think not in school. Like you mean like
Oh, no, no,
once
no.
I'm
I mean, like for the 5 years, like, is that a thing you
Oh,
mentioned? Does that make
so I
sense?
yeah, so I know that they do ECMO in this unit, but I'm not sure what the certifications are for that. So I'll have to look into it and see like how
Yeah.
I could be certified. Because
Like
that, I mean, that's something that I would love to learn how to do.
you could say just like as a general thing that you would love um to acquire any additional skills that might be available, like ECMO or continuous dialysis. Um,
Hmm.
and then I don't know if there's any other examples that make more sense for your hospital, but those are like the typical ones that people say.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Thank
then
you.
people
That's a
also
really good
talk about
point.
like committees.
Okay.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 1 and 5 years?
Ooh, good question. Definitely would love to still be at for the first year and really just gathering all the experience I can, learning all that I can. And hopefully in 5 years, I want to be in a leadership role. I definitely want to be a mentor for someone who's like me right now. I'd really love that. Yeah.
So just kind of thinking about it from the manager's point of view, they're usually the ones that make the schedule and they have more flexibility the more people they have that are preceptors or charge nurse. So you could mention that you would love to be a charge nurse, that you'd love to
Okay.
become a preceptor, that you'd love to work with nursing students. And then you can say that you'd love to get any certifications that might be appropriate to the unit, just to kind of
Okay.
improve yourself in any way that you can. The reason that it's like worth it to them to pay you to do it is because the more nurses that are like the higher percent that are certified, the easier it is for the hospital to get like magnet status.
Got it.
That's why
Okay.
they care about that.
Yeah, so in 1 year, I foresee myself being a lot more comfortable and confident on the unit, really fitting in well with the team and understanding the dynamic. And then I also foresee myself looking forwards towards the future. By the 5 year mark, I really want to be a preceptor. I love educating future generations, and that is something I would just love to participate in. I'd also love to try out being a resource or even the charge nurse, and it would also mean a lot to me to join a committee. I think it'd be really fun and a great learning opportunity to work on a project with my colleagues that's aimed on solving a facility-wide issue.
When you were saying like fitting in with the team or something, I feel like an opportunity to kind of make yourself sound like a team player that you could say instead is like that you want to become like a really strong team member so that you can, let's see, how do we say this?
So to like work well with my
Not just like working, not just like getting along, but like, you know how when you know your coworkers pretty well, like if they see you running around like crazy, they'll check in with you
yeah
and be like, "Are you okay?
yeah
Like, can I do anything? Can I check anything off your list for you?" And they'll be like, "Oh my God, can you please just do the blood sugar check for
yeah
14?" Like, because I'm kind
yeah
of stuck in here. And if you'd be like, "Yeah," and you come back and you're like, "It was 86. Can you want me to give him his food? I'm gonna cover him with one unit." And they'll be like, "Thank you. Cool." You
yeah
know, like the little relationships back and like, and it's always like a two-way street where it just kind of helps because it's impossible to make like a totally even assignment all the time. Like when you have that back and forth system
yeah
going with people, it's better than just like getting along. It's like you guys have each other's backs.
yeah
You know?
Oh, so maybe saying like just being and also working well with the team and having my colleagues' backs and um
That sounds a little bit too casual. Maybe, okay, so how are we going to say this?
um
Sorry, I'm very caffeinated. um, you would say something like, I'd really like to become very competent in my skills and my time management so that I could also be a resource to my coworkers if they ever, you know, on days that they might have a heavier assignment and need a little bit of support. I'd like to be in a year strong enough that I can really um, regularly be available for any help that might be needed on the floor to kind of improve the flow of the unit. If other people might end up being busy that day, I can help them. That's a like I really want to be a strong team player for my team.
okay
Something
okay
like
okay
you can kind of play around with it and see, but it's not so much like you want to get along, you want them to like you. It's like you want to like be there for them on days that they might be busier and being able to set enough time aside to not only manage your workload but maybe help out on the unit where it's needed to improve like the flow of the
oh
unit.
got it
Yeah.
yeah it's like being like comfortable enough to be able to like be there to help my colleagues and oh I don't know how
Yeah.
do you want
Yeah. Yeah.
this
It's like a level up from just like wanting to fit in.
yeah
Like you're
like
like the
not just
one where they're
getting
like,
my tasks done but like feeling
yeah,
like I had the expertise to like or not expertise but like was so efficient that I could like help other people in return.
yeah. Like you know those coworkers where like you see you're working with them and you're like, oh, thank God, even if someone codes, like we'll be
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah.
can you please tell us where you see yourself in 1 and 5 years?
Yeah, so in 1 to 5 years, I think starting off, I just would be open to working anywhere, get any experience. Preferably, when I did the interviews, I always chose med surg just because I thought that was a good foundation to start all of my nursing skills and kind of like just have a foundation of knowledge of all the conditions and everything. But I think in 1 to 5 years, it would either be becoming ICU or ER nurse because of the high acuity, and I want something more of a challenge. from med surg eventually if I move on from there. And also from the back of my mind too, I think I wouldn't mind being a clinical instructor or a professor for nursing students. I always thought that nursing school was hard as it was, especially in COVID. But I think since going through that experience and realizing how hard nursing school is, I think it would be a great fulfillment for me to make it as easy as possible for future nurses because they're going to be running the hospitals one day too. And I think I would just have a great enjoyment from doing that.
Cool. What you said is fine for if you're going for a float pool that includes ICU and emergency department, you wouldn't want to say that you want to start in med surg.
Yeah.
Got it. I mean,
just tailor it to whichever.
Yeah.
I got you.
From the hiring manager's perspective, it helps them if you say that you want to be like a preceptor someday or a charge nurse, because it helps them with like scheduling. They have more flexibility with you. You can also say if you want to get any kind of certifications that would be appropriate. The reason they care about that is it helps them get like magnet designation.
Okay.
Have certification. So like I'm on a step down. The one for us is a PCCN. Like ICU has like CCRN, which is like critical care. And like ICU nurses, sometimes they also get like the ECMO or like the continuous dialysis certifications and stuff. So you could just say like that you'd love to get any certifications that would be helpful.
In 1 year, I find myself hopefully very confident in my skills and my knowledge and being a part of a unit that runs like a family and is very supportive of one another. And in 5 years, did you say 5 years?
Yeah.
In 5 years, hopefully I'm in a master's program and I'm working towards my nurse practitioner's license, and hopefully I have some type of leadership on the unit, whether it be a charge nurse or just being able to precept other nurses and kind of give them tips on things I wish I would have known as a new grad.
Okay, cool. You can also say that you'd love to be a part of any kind of like committees or like quality improvement projects on the unit.
Okay.
In 1 year, I see myself finishing the nursing residency program, and hopefully I'll be able to also take some like certification needed for my specialty unit. And within 5 years, I see myself that I solidify my skills and my nursing skills and knowledge, and I'm hoping that I will be able to become a preceptor to my fellow new grad, like so I could like give back to them, and maybe also be a charge nurse, or maybe even join a committee like that is needed for the unit.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. So in 1 year, I do see myself working on the floor in the NICU. I hope to just grow in skills and confidence and just my knowledge in caring for the NICU population. And in 5 years, I see myself here, hopefully maybe orienting a staff member or precepting for a student, and maybe even being a charge nurse, fingers crossed. But yeah, I really do see myself staying in bedside nursing here, and long term, I want to be a NICU nurse. This is just what I feel called to do.
So right now I'm working on getting my bachelor's degree. I'm on track to graduate in June of this year. And then after that, I'm hoping that whatever position I am in at the hospital, that I can become a mentor for other new grad nurses. I really love to teach other nurses. When I worked at In-N-Out for 11 years, I was actually a trainer and would travel to other stores that were opening up to train people. So whenever I have an opportunity to train, I really enjoy doing that. So I see myself eventually being in a mentorship role and then possibly even a charge nurse role down the road.
Okay. Just so you know, that might be why you're having such a hard time getting hired, because and so we'll prep for that question next.
Okay.
Just the thing about you not graduating yet. They just have this fear that like their program is so rigorous that you're not going to be able to do both.
Oh, I could see that. Because I actually was considering if I was to get a job, because the school I'm at, they're really flexible. So they're like, if you had to cut down like in the middle of the semester, drop out, like you could just kind of restart those classes again. So they're very like flexible, but I just never worded that to any interviews I had.
Okay. We'll do that next because you
Okay.
really I'll pretend I'm like a super
Mhm.
someone who has feelings about that. Um so this one, which one were we doing? We're doing 1 in 5 years. So
Yeah.
because it's like NICU, you would
Mhm.
say that you would love to get any certifications that would be well, and it's NICU, ED, and L&D. So say I'd love to get any unit specific certifications um that would kind of help me advance my education to be more tailored to the unit. I'd love to join any committees in the hospital to kind of learn what the latest evidence-based practice is and sort of be more integrated into the hospital and then bring back whatever they're able to share back onto the unit. I'd love to be a part of any like any goals, any initiatives on the unit. And then talk about wanting to be a preceptor and a charge nurse. So what are your short and long-term goals? Where do you see yourself sort of in 1 year and then in 5 years?
So in 1 year, I see myself possibly getting like certified in my department and in med surg. I see myself just honing in more on my skills, being the best nurse that I could be, just being more proficient at that. My 5 year goal would be to possibly obtain a preceptorship. You know, I see myself teaching new nurses coming into the field. Possibly being a charge nurse in my department. I just see myself being part of the committee of learning different and applying different research knowledge, just being an educator and within my department.
Love that.
Those are my goals for now.
So when you say that, what I hear is, okay, cool. So if we hire her, she's not going to leave in a year for like, you know, NP school or whatever. Not that that's a bad thing that people want to go to NP school, but I hear that like if we did hire you, you would actually like stay for a while and help with whatever staffing need they're trying to fill. So that's good. And it felt really genuine. Like you were just like humble, but like also really wanted to grow. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So for right now, I see myself just within probably within like the next 2 years, just learning as much as I can as a nurse to grow, and maybe in like 5 years, I would love to possibly go back to school to get my nurse practitioner license, or maybe become a CRNA. But for right now, I'm just like excited to learn and to grow as a new nurse.
Okay. You kind of have to think about it like from their perspective, like the things that might be helpful for them to hear from you is that maybe like at the 2 year mark, you'd be really interested in becoming a preceptor or
I'm definitely interested in doing that.
Say that, or say like any kind of certifications, whether it's, so you kind of have to tailor this to the unit interview. So like if it's ICU, you'd say like, the CCRN. For med surg or ED, I don't know what those, like for the step down, for me, it was a PCCN. I don't know what it is for like, I don't know what certifications they get in med surg or emergency room, but you could just say like, I'd really like to continue my education through certifications. I'd love to become a preceptor. you could say that you'd love to become a charge nurse.
Okay.
What else do they like? And then for the ICU, you could say that you would love to learn how to do like ECMO and the continuous dialysis. Yeah. Because those are all kind of things that help them. Like the more people they have who are like capable of doing charge, it's like, or precepting, it kind of helps them with scheduling and like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I think like if they get more nurses who are certified, it like helps them apply for magnet status and like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of like where their head's at with that.
We'll definitely say like becoming a preceptor or charge nurse, continuation of education via certifications, learning new skills such as ECMO or continuous dialysis. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that for like med surge or ED because they'll be like, oh, he actually wants ICU and doesn't even know it yet. He's not going to fit here.
I also say like actually one of my personal goals is really to become like really good at IVs. So maybe like becoming certified in like ultrasound guided IVs.
Yeah.